Welcome back to another episode of Primetime. Huge week. It's Super Bowl week.
Always the best week in American sports. I think this is the only week anyone outside of America cares about the NFL, and that's when it's the Super Bowl.
That's right. Worldwide eyes are watching the NFL Super Bowl. That brings us to the fan question. Who is winning the Super Bowl? The San Francisco 49ers or the Kansas City Chiefs?
I feel like the San Francisco 49ers should be the favourites. I think all season they've been the better team. Besides the last two games they've played in the playoffs, they've been pretty shit. And Kansas City, they beat a great Baltimore team. And going into the playoffs, who do you trust more, Mahomes and Kelsey or Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy? You take Mahomes. I think in Super Bowls, you always take the better quarterback.
Experience.
So if you're going to put a bet on, back the Chiefs.
They are outsiders, plus they have the script writers writing for them. They've got Taylor Swift in the audience. Travis Kelce's been all over the news, but I think you're right. I would take Kansas City as underdogs, right, at $2 something, because they've been there before. They know what it's like on the big stage. So I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs as well.
And I mean, throughout history, the best quarterbacks and the best coaches usually win. There's outliers where you have your Nick Foles, who could be very similar to Brock Purdy.
Andy Reid's second Super Bowl?
No, it'd be his
win?
third,
if he wins?
Super Bowl win. He's already won 2 with the Chiefs.
Wow.
But remember, I think he lost 3 with the Eagles as well. So he does have a history of losing in the Super Bowl.
Okay, let's get straight into the NRL Rumour Roundup. The preseason is almost over. The NRL season's fast approaching. First rumour off the bat, not really a rumour, but it's news. Harry Grant announced as team captain for the Melbourne Storm.
Very surprising. So he just overlapped Cam Munster and Jarome Hughes, who I think are now vice captains.
Yeah, Cam Munster now VC. Means they look into the future of the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're in a locker room with a bunch of boys or a bunch of men, who do you look to the most? It's the most experienced players. And I don't think Harry Grant has the experience over Munster yet.
But in saying that, Harry Grant touches the ball the most in that team, right? He's the new Cam Smith on the block for the Melbourne Storm. He's directing the players on the field. He gets them to where they need to be. If he's going to have the ball the most and pretty much making the decisions, I know Munster's a bit more senior, so is Jarome Hughes, but I think they're getting ready for the future, and they're setting him up to be the next Cam Smith.
Well, I think they do expect him to be there for the next 10 years at least as their best player. So it is a move for the future. But if I'm Cam Munster, I see this as we don't trust you as captain. We don't trust you as a leader of the team. I mean, I know he won't see it that way because him and Craig Bellamy are boys, but still, it is a bit of a spit in the face.
I don't know. Okay, what about this rumour? Ezra Mam has recently joined the Broncos on a great deal, but
recently re-signed.
Yeah, but he turned down $1 million offer from the Dolphins.
He said he wants to stay at Brisbane. He's a Brisbane boy. But, I mean, if you're getting offered $1 million by Wayne Bennett, how are you not taking it? You have a very short career. Cash in, mate.
Redcliffe's not far from Brisbane either.
Mate,
you're not moving too far.
Like, if you're Ezra Mann, I get maybe Brisbane has a better prospect of winning a premiership in the near future. But Wayne Bennett and the Dolphins giving you $1 million, they're on the rise as well. Your boy Herbie Farnworth's going there as well. I mean, take the $1 million. I mean, unless they're giving him $1 million, they're just not reporting it.
I think the deal breaker for Ezra Mam was Wayne Bennett asked him to not paint his nails. And he said, no, I can't do it. I can't commit to that. I'll just take the money at Brisbane. But, yeah, very surprising. Brisbane are setting themselves up. I think they're going to be a premiership favourite this year. And he's a big part of that, Ezra Mam.
And then, again, Brisbane Broncos, like some of the big clubs, probably have massive third-party payments as well. So, yeah, okay, he might be on the salary cap for $600,000-700,000, but he's probably getting another $400,000-500,000 in third-party payments. So, Ezra, make whatever financial decision you need.
What about this one? Curtis Scott wasn't allowed to play rugby league. His NRL contract was not allowed to be submitted. But he's starting his boxing career with his first fight announced with No Limit, Curtis Scott versus Joey Leilua.
Well, he's come out and said, I just want to show NRL clubs that I haven't been sitting on my ass. I'm in great shape and I'm training. But, I mean, I feel for the kid. Why the hell is someone that of his calibre of playing a premiership winner not allowed to play in the NRL?
Well, listen, he does have the domestic violence charges. It's a checkered past. But NRL has given out second chances in the past. He's repented. He's done what he needs to be done. He's done his education. He wants to get back. You can't write someone off for one mistake in their lifetime. I'm sorry. Okay, so he's gone into No Limit. No Limit have given him a chance. Credit to the Rose brothers. He's going to prove himself. And it's heavyweight boxing. This guy's a centre. Remember, centre winger going up against Joey Leilua. He's got something to prove.
I mean, I back him as well. He's a great player, great kid. I mean, we've met him in real life. He's a great bloke.
We've met him in real life. Yeah, we've seen him at the No Limit events. He has been training boxing, training alongside Brock Jarvis. When I say the bloke's solid, shaking his hand, he almost broke my hand. But he's very, very solid. I don't think he was going to be a heavyweight boxer, but obviously he must be tipping the scales at 90-plus kilos.
I wouldn't want to scrap with him.
No.
So Joey Leilua, watch out.
You've seen what he's done to Dylan Walker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's broken a couple eye sockets on the field. The kid can scrap. So, look, I wish him all the best. I will be tuning into the fight.
And I'll be advocating him to sign an NRL contract. Please, a club, just give him a chance.
Let's look at the funniest NFL Taylor Swift bets that can be placed. Starting with, will Taylor Swift be proposed to by Travis Kelce? It's currently paying $10 yes and no $1.07.
Wow. I mean, these Taylor Swift prop bets are getting out of hand. I mean, I think going in, you knew there were going to be some sort of terrible bets going around. But I feel for this one, he's not going to propose to her. Why would he do that? They've been going out for about 6 months. Proposing's not going to be an option.
I don't see a proposal either. What about this one? Will the Super Bowl MVP mention Taylor Swift in their speech? Yes, $8. No, $1.08.
Well, look, if Travis Kelce gets it, you're almost a certainty that he's going to mention Taylor Swift. If Mahomes gets it, who would be the favourite, he could say, oh, look, we're all Swifties now, so I would take that $8.
I don't think they're going to mention Taylor Swift. It's just not there.
She's taken over the team.
But that time is meant for the boys. It's meant for the people in the locker room, the coaching staff. It's not meant for one of the boys' girlfriends. I'm sorry.
I
don't care how big she is.
They ramble a lot in these speeches, and it's very easy for them to go, hey, you know, we've received a lot of criticism about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Bang, that's a mention. That's $8. That's a winner.
What will occur first in the game? A Travis Kelce reception or Taylor Swift to be shown on the screen? Kelce reception is paying $2.40 and Taylor Swift on screen $1.50.
Again, I feel like they're going to show Taylor Swift on screen every chance that they get.
It just depends. If Kansas City start off
with the ball
or if they're defense. If they start off in defense, Taylor is definitely getting shown first.
Well,
but if they start off on offense, I could definitely say that he's going to get a reception first.
Look at this from the perspective of the NFL. You've got a celebrity in the crowd, in the box of Kansas City. Every chance you get to show her, you are, because you're just going to boost ratings. So, I mean, Travis Kelce, it's not a guarantee he's going to catch the ball for a while. It's a guarantee they're going to show her on screen, so I'll take Taylor Swift on screen.
What about this one? Will Taylor Swift be shown during the American National Anthem?
I mean, why would you show her that? I mean, like, unless she's...
Oh, she's got the hand on the chest and she's singing like only Taylor can and belting out the anthem.
What if she's taking a knee? I mean, that would put the camera on her as well.
Yeah, she could take the knee too. I could see that happening. But I don't know. I feel like the anthem is strictly for the fans and also the artist singing it.
I would say no. They're not going to show her during the anthem unless she's doing something that requires attention.
Now let's go the Super Bowl by the numbers. The Super Bowl by the numbers, Nick. Every year the Super Bowl gets bigger and bigger. Every city and state that it's in profits billions.
Well, they campaign years in advance. Please put the Super Bowl in our state, in our city.
Yeah.
And I think this year it's in Vegas, which would be the worst place to have it if you're...
Pricey.
Yeah, I mean,
It is.
I could imagine the tickets, the price for flights,
Well,
the price for accommodation would be through the roof.
Let's look at the Super Bowl by the numbers. The average ticket price, $9,850.
That's just for a nosebleed probably as well.
That's just the average price. The entry is probably around $6,000.
I mean, that's disgusting. Like, I mean, I love NFL football, but I'm not going there unless it's for free. I'm not paying $9,000 for a ticket when it's probably better to watch it on TV.
Don't get me wrong. If I could get a nosebleed seat for about $30, $40, I'll take it. But I'm not paying $6,000 to get inside the arena.
I mean,
I'll watch it on TV at a bar with some locals.
How good can it be? That's what I'm saying.
It is. Look, it's one of the premier events. Okay, what about this? Viewership worldwide. Over 56 million people watch it. It is one of the most watched sporting events outside the World Cup.
Yeah, and that's where I think on TV it's one of the greatest things to watch because everyone's tuning in, everyone has an opinion on it, everyone wants to watch the ads, everyone wants to watch the football and have their 2 cents on what happened.
It's always a sellout. They're always selling out, so the gates are doing massive. Last year was over 100,000 people. This year will fill over 60,000 at Allegiant Stadium. But if you look at the TV commercial revenue, okay, for a 30-second spot at this year's Super Bowl, it costs you $7 million.
There was a report that came out that said a 30-second ad on the Super Bowl will eclipse the lifetime earnings of most Americans. $7 million. They're not going to see that money in their lifetime. These big corporations are just giving that for a 30-second ad.
I'm sorry, I don't think it's worth it for the 30 seconds. You're better off giving $5 million to Mr. Beast. You're getting more views than a Super Bowl commercial.
Give me $7 million. I'll advertise the shit out of your company better than what the TV can for your commercial.
I just don't see how that's worth it. But the revenue the NFL makes alone just from commercials during the game, you're looking at over $600 million plus in ad revenue for the NFL.
Mate, that's just printing money. That's printing money. It's unfair.
Now this one, with betting becoming more popular in the US and sports gambling, this has seen a massive jump, okay? The average bets placed on the Super Bowl this year is forecast to be $23 billion.
Up $7 billion from last year, $16 billion last year. And this just shows you that legal gambling in America is getting out of hand. Junkies are coming out of the woodworks. It's reported that 1 in 4 Americans are going to place a bet on the Super Bowl. That's 25% of people are going to be junkies betting on the Super Bowl.
But there's so much to bet on. How can you not?
Bet on the length of the anthem,
the coin toss, whether Taylor Swift's going to be shown in the audience,
the amount of touchdowns by Mahomes, rushing yards, receiving yards,
MVP. Look, I understand. The thing is, it's not like Australia where there's just 20 million people. You're talking to 350 million Americans. Majority of them are going to put a bet on the Super Bowl.
70 million reported. I mean, I don't want to criticize these people too much because I personally am going to be placing a lot of bets on the Super Bowl. So I'm going to refrain from criticizing as much. But I think as an arena, the gambling space is getting out of hand in America.
It has grown more popular each year. Is that because more states are legalizing the gambling?
I think they're up to 38 states now have legalized gambling. So, I mean, even though people in those states where it's not legal, they'll just catch a flight to Vegas or somewhere else where it is legal and place a bet in the airport.
That is up 44% on last year in terms of the amount of betting. Again, $23.4 billion. It's pretty crazy. I mean, they really shouldn't have a homeless crisis in the US if that amount of people are betting.
Maybe just take the one event, the Super Bowl, and just give it to the homeless people. You solve the homeless in America. That's it. The crisis is solved.
Talking about gambling, let's look at the top 5 biggest Super Bowl bets of all time. Starting with number 5.
Drake at the 2023 Super Bowl betting $700,000 on the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Eagles. He did win this bet, winning $700,000, breaking the Drake curse. But unfortunately for Drake that day, he made 7 bets, lost 6, won 1. So the Drake curse is kind of still there.
Number 4 is this year's Super Bowl. A Michigan man's placed $1 million on the San Francisco 49ers. He stands to collect $800,000 US.
That's amazing. I mean, I don't think they're going to win. I can see him losing this money, but best of luck.
Best of luck. I hope you get up.
And that takes us to number 3, another anonymous man putting $2.3 million on the Buccaneers and Tom Brady against the Chiefs back in the 2021 Super Bowl.
He put all his faith in the GOAT.
Put all his faith in the GOAT and was rewarded. I think he won up to $2 million on that game. I mean, that's one of the greatest bets of all time. And if I had my time back, I'd love to put $2 million on Tom Brady because it's a guarantee.
At number 2 in the very same Super Bowl, that bet was beaten by Texas businessman Mattress Mac, placing $3 million on the Buccaneers to win.
Again, another winner, putting his faith in Tom Brady. I think he collected about $2 to $3 million in profits.
$2.75 million.
The catch was he was using funds from his mattress store to place the bets, so the winnings were given back to customers of his mattress store. It wasn't going straight to Mattress Mac pocket.
He had an agreement with DraftKings to pay out the customers of Mattress Mac.
I mean, great deal. I mean, great way to treat your customers. But that's beaten only by number 1, Mattress Mac again, placing a $5 million wager on the Cincinnati Bengals to beat the Los Angeles Rams.
These Texans are crazy.
I mean, this guy, probably the biggest sports gambler in history, registered at least. But unfortunately for Mattress Mac, he did not win this bet. Cooper Kupp ruined his dreams, scoring a touchdown in the final minutes of the Super Bowl. Cincinnati Bengals lose, and I think at the end of the game, he ended up losing about $9.5 million because he had separate wagers. The $5 million one just was his biggest.
I think he was watching the movie Focus too much and probably got a bit out of hand with the gambling there, Mattress Mac. But losing a $5 million bet would hurt. I don't know how you would sleep at night. But again, these Texans are crazy and they live and die by the sword. Caesar Sportsbook, who took that bet, were laughing at that one.
I mean, you collect $5 million. What do you have to do? Just watch a game of football. I mean, and Mattress Mac, you're gambling a lot of your customers' money here. You're still losing $5 million. I don't know how you're going to put it. You still lost $5 million.
Well, that's our top 5 for the top 5 this week. Make sure you check out and subscribe to @Kairouz Bros on YouTube, where you can catch all our top 5s, and over on Instagram @Kairouz Bros and @Jon-Bernard K. But let's look over to UFC. Next week, right after the Super Bowl, we go straight into it. As Aussies, it's one of the biggest Aussie cards in Anaheim. Volkanovski's going up against Ilia Topuria. Now, Ilia Topuria's been in the media everywhere. Is he becoming a little bit too overconfident, the little Spaniard?
Well, the Spaniard, the Georgian, I think he's from Germany as well. He's got a big fan base behind him. He's now put in his Instagram bio, 15-0 UFC champion. So that's a bit cocky because you haven't won the champion yet. Volkanovski hasn't lost in that division for quite some time.
I feel like he's not respecting Volk at all. Volk has a very great resume in that division. He's a champion there for a reason. He's proven himself. Yes, he's gone up and been unsuccessful and lost to Islam twice. You could argue that he won the first fight. But in saying that, I feel like he's going to go into this a little bit too overconfident. He's already talking about not wanting to defend the belt that he wins against other greats like Max Holloway in the division.
I mean, Topuria's probably getting a bit ahead of himself, but you're about to go in a cage and fight a man. Your life's on the line. So you could say whatever you want. You want to be cocky, be cocky. If that's going to help you in the ring, do whatever you want to do.
To be fair, he is selling the shit out of this fight. People now want to see it. His Instagram following is skyrocketing. Everywhere you see on MMA fan pages is Ilia Topuria going at Volkanovski, saying it'll be one of his easiest fights. Going at Volkanovski, saying he's not cut out for it and I think he should retire after this. It's going to be an interesting fight, and he's definitely young and confident, and think he's going to take the old bull and take him out back and put him down to put him out of his misery.
MMA fans are now drawing a lot of comparisons to Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo. You have a young, up-and-coming, undefeated fighter up against an old veteran who's also one of the greatest in the division. Similar to that fight, Conor McGregor was mouthing off. Jose Aldo didn't get any respect from McGregor, the same way that Topuria is not giving any respect to Volk. Is he going to shock the world the same way that McGregor did? I actually think so. I think, man, when you're young and you're just up and coming, you've got a bit more motivation to win the title. Volkanovski, those last 2 fights where he's lost to Islam, they've got to take a toll on you, and it's a quick turnaround as well. But you can't doubt Volkanovski. He's the best in the division, probably all time. So it's a tough fight, but it's interesting to watch.
There's a lot of other Aussies on the card as well. You got Robert Whittaker on the card as well. Aussies will be tuning into this fight and getting behind Volkanovski. He's got the country behind him. I think he's going to show that he is the featherweight GOAT. I know Ilya's probably going to get a bit ahead of himself, but this could be a multi-time match where Ilya wants to obviously go after the title again. I guess we'll wait and see.
Topuria is young, so he's got a lot of time to improve and actually get another title
But I'm
shot.
taking Volkanovski. But let's look over to another half of the TKO group. Let's go over to WWE, okay? The hashtag, We Want Cody, is all over Twitter. There's been an uprising. Fans are chanting at the arena, Rocky sucks. The Rock has inserted himself into the main event with Roman Reigns, and the fans don't want it. It's everywhere. The media's even reporting on it. There's massive fan backlash on the WWE with The Rock being in the main event against Roman Reigns. Will Cody Rhodes main event WrestleMania with this massive fan support now?
No, he won't. There's no way Cody Rhodes is going to trump The Rock. The Rock is now on the board of the TKO group. He's used his power to insert himself into the main event, and there's no way he's going to walk himself away from the main event for Cody Rhodes.
But what if this is all a work for the fans to get even more behind Cody Rhodes and push him into the main event? It feels like the Yes Movement all over again. It feels like they're forcing Daniel Bryan into the main event. And they're forcing Cody Rhodes. Could it be a triple threat match? Rock, Roman, Cody Rhodes. The thing is, why I'm saying this, The Rock versus Roman stare down is the most disliked video in WWE's history on YouTube. No one wants to see it. And you got to think, this is The Rock. This is the most beloved superstar of all time. And they're chanting Rocky sucks. Michael Cole even said on commentary, it's like 1996 again.
Yeah, but it's the way that they did it. It's the way that they moved Cody out of the main event. If you're going to do Rock Roman, why would you have Cody win the Royal Rumble? That's where I think the fan uproar is from. Because if you really thought Cody wasn't going to main event, don't let him win the Rumble. Let Drew McIntyre win. Let CM Punk win. If The Rock was going to main event this whole time, then they probably could have pumped that in earlier, maybe had a non-title match against Roman at Mania because it doesn't need the title, and Cody could have finished his story another way.
Well, I mean, the fans are hanging on that. Cody still hasn't made his decision, and that's leading all the way to Elimination Chamber in Perth, which we're going to be there. Elimination Chamber in Perth is going to be massive. Who knows what's going to happen? Could CM Punk make a return? People are saying his tricep might not be torn. Who knows? Drew McIntyre's making some noise as well. Is the night one main event going to be Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins?
Yes, I think it is going to be now. If CM Punk is officially out, which I believe his tricep injury is real.
I don't know.
Why would you fake that for? But I do think it's going to be Drew, and I hope Drew wins. Seth Rollins, I think, is getting a bit stale as champion. It's like when
he's been the workhorse champion, but Drew, if anyone deserves it, Drew has also been a workhorse. He carried the company during that pandemic era, and also he's been hot on the mic. He looks in phenomenal shape. He's putting on great matches. He is primed up to beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Well, since coming back and going on that bit of psychotic Drew phase, he's been the most entertaining person on Raw. I've grown bored of Seth Rollins. I think his character's stale. I think these promos are getting a bit boring. Even him talking to Cody Rhodes, it was like, man, it just doesn't feel the same.
Saying that CM Punk versus Rollins was money.
That
Those
was the match.
promos, that was the match. He got injured in the Rumble. It did sour some plans, and that's why I think they had to pivot to the Rock main eventing. But it's all up in the air right now, and that's the best part about WWE. You don't know what's going to happen until it happens.
And they can change it at any point.
And that's the road to WrestleMania. So make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you're going to tune into our content at WWE Elimination Chamber in Perth. We're going to be providing some bangers while we're over there. But I think that's all for us today, Nick. We're going to wrap that up. Make sure you tune into the Super Bowl. Follow along for our bets. Our Super Bowl bets, we'll be putting those out online. Until then, go to the San Francisco 49ers.
Back to you in the studio.
Yeah.